What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hidden Oaks Homestead, and it is hot.
It is.
Didn't we say that last week?
Well, last week actually wasn't too bad. This week
it felt bad last week, but
yeah,
it's worse now.
It is.
And it's not about us.
Everybody's hot.
It's not about us because we can escape to the air conditioning. For me, it's more about the animals being hot because we can't bring all the cows and the goats and
into the house.
The dogs and the chickens into the house to get some air conditioning.
They're fine though. They don't need air conditioning.
They don't need air conditioning.
They will acclimate.
They don't need air conditioning. You're right.
They don't even need an ice cube bath.
But there's infrastructure that we need to put in place that I'm working on to give them some relief from the heat.
He's talking about specifically his bestie Brody.
Brody, I hate seeing him.
Because nobody else he really cares about so much.
I come out here in the evenings and I hang out with Brody and I just spray him down with the water hose, and nobody else does that for him. And I'm only here a small part of the day.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could spend all day with a water hose just hosing down Brody, the Highland cow.
Yeah, I mean we have a pond. We have a pond, but obviously they don't. Well, not obviously. It's not obvious, but the cows don't have access to the pond right now.
I'm glad you corrected yourself.
If we have,
because you always say it's obvious when sometimes it's
totally
not,
obvious.
Sometimes it's not that obvious.
Who doesn't know that?
We have a pond.
We have a pond,
but Brody doesn't have access to it.
No,
obviously.
No, obviously. So they don't have access to it. We don't have a separate pond inside the pasture, and it hasn't rained in forever.
It's crazy. This time last year, last June, it rained nonstop.
Every day.
From like May 28th until 4th of July weekend, It was just constant downpour, and it has been extremely dry.
My garden doesn't like it.
Very humid.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. It's been extremely hot. They're calling it the 100-year heat wave. Apparently, it's been 100 years since it's been this hot for this long.
We have a 100-year heat wave every year in Florida, though, I feel
like. I mean, honestly, once you hit 100 degrees, I really don't care if it's 101, 105. It's hot.
But like I said, it's not about us. Because relatively speaking, we're not in it
all day
for as long as these animals are. And I just worry about them and the toll it takes on them. So I got some plans coming up. I've ordered some stuff online, and I'm waiting for stuff to come in to try to give some of the animals some relief, to try to cool them down a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe a couple of years down the road, we'll have additional pasture down by the pond, and they can just go for a swim.
And that's another thing I want to work on, is getting these cows trained to electric polywire so that we can move them around like the Macs do. If you guys watch the Macs on YouTube, I'd like to be able to do what they do and just rope off the pond,
an acre for the day, and move them around,
and let them go get in the pond and eat some fresh grass.
Yeah,
that's what I would like.
Yeah, we can't do that just yet, so we'll either have to train them. I don't know if we can train them. Is it too late to train them?
It's never too late.
We're told it's really easy to train them.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that.
So we can probably just set up something in here inside the permanent pasture, put like an electrical wire up, and see how it goes. Yeah,
we're gonna do that. But we got other priorities right now, and one of my priorities is beating this heat for the animals.
Yeah.
But Zachary's
October can't come fast enough.
Is it October? Is that when it cools down, or is it? I think
sometimes
November.
It's December.
I think it's November. We have our first fall in November, and the temperatures drop a little bit, and then we get our second summer. Then summer comes back,
and then it's winter for like a week, and then it's summer for a week, and then it just kind of goes back and forth for a little bit.
Yeah,
we might get a hard freeze-in for a night,
Yeah.
and then the next day it's going to be 70 degrees again. So it's crazy weather here in Florida.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So
That's what I'm married into. Yay.
Zachary's chickens have hatched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we've moved them out of the kitchen and out of the incubator, and
Yes.
they are in a brooder.
They're in a brooder on the back porch. So the lady we got them from, she gave us 12 eggs. We had, let me see if I get my numbers right. She gave us 8 Polish, and she gave us 4 Silkies. And this was just like, she breeds these birds and she sells them. And when we went to pick up the goats that we got from her, she just threw them in for Zachary. Is like, here you
Little
go.
side
Here
project.
you go. Have fun with these chicken eggs.
Yeah.
So we incubated them. 2 of the silky eggs, I believe, were not fertile. They never developed at all. And one of the Polish eggs never developed at all. And then
2 didn't develop at all, and then 1 didn't develop at all.
2 silkies did not develop, and 1 Polish did not develop, for a total of 3 did not develop.
Okay.
You guys got that right. Y'all got that? Okay, so we can keep going. And then when we went to hatch, when we went into lockdown, 1 of the Polish did not hatch, and 1 of the Silkies did not hatch. So we had a really good, I'd say a really good hatch rate on the Polish. 6 of the 8 hatched. But on the Silkies, we only actually hatched 1 of the 4 she gave us.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her and I told her that we'd like to come out and actually buy more eggs from us. And she said that she will not sell us eggs. That
Absolutely not.
she's not going to sell us any eggs. She would rather trade us for some more fresh produce or
Jam or
some
Farm
of our
goods.
farm goods than to take money from us. And she also said that she would like to know that that her line of chickens is going to somewhere that she's happy them being grown out, and if anything ever happens to her flock somewhere, she knows she can go back
she has a backup flock.
and get back in touch with me, and I could get her set up if something were to ever happen to her stock. So
Exactly. Yeah. So we have 6 of the Tolbuns, right?
6 Tolbents. We have 1 Silky, and Zachary got a wild hair and decided to throw a random egg in.
A random.
Just one random
Barnyard
barnyard chicken egg in, and that hatched. And that was actually one of the first ones that hatched.
Yeah. Oh, we had 100%
Yeah.
hatch rate for our
100%
eggs.
hatch rate from the eggs put in from Hidden Oaks Homestead.
Yeah.
We're
but
pretty good at this.
I know, right? I know. So we have 6 of the Polish, and actually the last one was questionable because 5 of them hatched just fine.
Yeah.
And the 6th one was a little bit of a question mark because
Well, there were 2.
Yeah.
There were 2 at the end. Everybody that was going to hatch had hatched out, and there were two Polish eggs left. And Amber went to check on it, right? And she could hear it peeping. One was peeping, one
You
was
could
not.
literally feel the heartbeat.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But I was worried because everybody else had already hatched. They had already done their time in the brooder, in the incubator, because you leave them in for like 24 to 48 hours after they hatch in the brooder. In the incubator, you leave them in the incubator for like 24 to 48 hours before you move them out into the brooder. And all the other chicks were out and in the brooder, and we still had these 2 Tolbits that we were holding out hope on.
He's calling his ladies home.
Well, one of them was dead. It didn't develop, or it developed. It just didn't hatch. But then the other one, we could hear it moving around. Nicole said she could feel its heart beating, and we could hear it peeping inside. So I know you're not supposed to help. You're supposed to let nature do its thing, but I didn't want it to end up dead like the other one. So I figured I was going to help it, and if it died, at least it died with me trying to help it instead of me just letting it die. So I peeled back part of it, like the air sac. I peeled that part of the egg off so that its head was open and it could breathe. And I was hoping that would give it enough to be able to get some energy to actually break out. I thought maybe the membrane inside was dried up and it just couldn't get out. And we left it like that overnight. And then the next morning, we came out and it was still in the same position. It was still breathing, but it had made no progress.
Still peeping. It was still lots of energy and all of that, but
just wasn't
doing any work to get out of the egg.
Just wasn't breaking out. So I went ahead, next step, and I peeled it like a boiled egg.
So weird. It is so weird to peel an egg that has something living inside of it.
So I peeled it, and as soon as I peeled it, I put it down. It laid there for a second, and then it kind of got its breath, and it started shaking off the rust. Got up and started walking around, and she made it.
Yeah, she's out with the rest of them.
She spent her 24 hours in the incubator, and then we moved her into the brooder with everybody else, and she's running around happy as can be.
Yeah, it's awesome, and they're really pretty chicks.
Yeah,
they're really cute.
And when you guys watch out, because when these things feather out, it's gonna be. I was just on YouTube today, just researching
watching chicken videos,
Tobent Polishes. When I was on the treadmill this morning, I was just researching and just watching videos. Don't judge me because you didn't get on the treadmill this morning.
I did get on the treadmill.
I did.
I watched other videos. So.
Well,
I watched gardening videos.
I watched Polish chicks being born, and when they feather out, you're gonna be. Don't look it up. I don't want you to look it up. I want you to see how cool they look once they feather out.
They're gonna be pretty. They're gonna be pretty. So
you haven't seen. You don't know.
I've seen a picture of them.
No, but when you see them, they're like little rock stars. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm taking over. This isn't Zach's project anymore. This is going to be my chicken project now.
Well, it's funny too because Amber wants to be involved too. Not necessarily with the Polish because she knows it's Zachary's thing. But the Silky and the Easter egg that we hatched out, she's like, Mama, can I go out there and spend time with the chicks? I'm like, yeah, have at it. Yeah. Go spend time with the chicks. Yeah, I want to make them sweet. I'm like, all right, go make them sweet.
And she will.
She will.
She'll have those things sitting on her shoulders.
On her shoulder, walking around.
Yeah, for sure awesome. She will.
Yeah, she's awesome like that.
She doesn't mind getting pooped on by chicks.
Nah, doesn't matter.
Doesn't bother her.
Yeah. Rub it off. No big deal.
She don't care.
Yeah, but we're going to set them up in a separate area because we got to keep them separate to keep the bloodlines separate from the rest of the chickens because we don't want to intermingle them with the barnyard chickens. We're
gonna have to get them. We're working on infrastructure specifically for these Polish chickens so that we can keep them separate from all the barnyard mutts that we have.
Our egg layers are fine though.
We got some barnyard mutts.
We do. I mean, Karen is the biggest one that we got.
Karen's our rooster. We thought she was a hen.
Yeah, we did. For the longest time.
We thought she was a hen.
Because she didn't crow for the longest time. Everybody else was already all grown up.
Then she started bullying the other roosters, and then we're like, that's a very aggressive hen.
She was very aggressive towards the hens initially, and it's like, well, she's just being a Karen. And so that's where the name came from.
Where she got her name, Karen.
And then one day, the kids came running, and like, we saw her crow. Like, nah.
Nah, Karen's not crowing. Karen did crow, and Karen's the rooster. But we were like, well, the kids were like, what are we going to name her?
Name him.
First, it's not a her, it's a him now. And we're going to call him Karen because that's his name.
It sticks. It's fine. We know exactly who we're talking about.
He's a big, pretty rooster, though.
He is. He's beautiful.
He's like a Jersey Giant Americana mix. He looks like an Americana, but he's a Jersey Giant size, and he's black, but he has that kind of greenish sheen to him.
Greenish sheen.
Greenish sheen.
Words are hard.
Greenish sheen.
There you go.
That's how I said it.
He is pretty though.
Me?
Cool. Yeah, you too. You're pretty too.
Oh, you're still talking about Karen? I thought you moved past Karen.
No.
So,
in other news, I picked up our sheep that we had processed.
Yeah.
We got almost 80 pounds of meat, and we kind of split it up between stew meat and hamburgers and sausage and well, lamb chops.
We had 2 black belly ewes. When we got rid of with our flock of sheep, we decided to keep 2 ewes to have processed ourselves, and we got 71 pounds. And I didn't think they even weighed 71 pounds between the 2 of them. So to be able to come back with that much meat into the freezer.
Yeah, we got a lot of meat back.
Yeah.
So that was nice to kind of refill the freezer because we're starting to run low on chicken and things like that. So it's nice to get a different kind of meat in the freezer.
Mix it up.
And I cooked some today. Amazing, because I had a huge garden harvest yesterday. Even though my garden is not doing great this year because it's too hot. It's hot.
It's just burning
And
out.
some of the experiments that we did this year with the in-ground really didn't pan out the way I had hoped. So there are certain things that we're going to have to change up next year. But I got 35 pounds of produce yesterday. Just yesterday.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be more growing, but that was just yesterday between cucumbers and peppers and beans and a bunch of stuff. So today,
Tell them what you did.
I cooked. Very exciting. I cooked.
Tell them.
I cooked, but it was all our food. So I made stuffed bell peppers. We have some really good sized bell peppers right now. It's beautiful. And
Like the size of my fist.
yeah. Really nice ones. And so I decided I'll make some stuffed bell peppers, stuff them with lamb meat. And so our bell peppers, our meat,
You
topped them with our mozzarella that we made
From
out of our goat milk.
There you go.
And made some fresh tomato sauce out of our tomatoes. And
Side of potatoes,
our potatoes, and it was really good.
That's how you do it.
It was so good. It really the nice thing about fresh vegetables out of your garden, and tell me if I'm just imagining things, but I feel like I don't have to season things as much as store-bought stuff. It tastes different.
That's a myth. Nicole, you still need to season. Nicole does not like to season.
That's not true.
We
I
use
like to
Redmond
season.
salt.
Yeah, and you use less of that anyway. It's just got more flavor to it. So, roosters, cheese. Y'all fighting out there.
Chicken love is so scary.
And so, yeah, it was really good to see that the garden is still producing, even though I wasn't really sure how it's gonna go. Our corn did really good so far this year. We got a good harvest out of it.
So with the corn, we did 2 little corn patches. We bought seeds from Haas Tools. That did great until it overheated, and the heat
until Florida overheated.
Till the heat freaked it out. And then we bought some local corn seed
from a co-op
nearby, and that grew, but then the heat got to that, and that kind of wilted away before it ever got to produce.
Yeah, it's probably
anything.
about thigh high, so it got to a good height, but it never really got the chance to produce any ears.
And now it's all dried up and it's brown.
So it's gonna be pig and cow food. It's fine.
Or compost. We'll just till it in.
Yeah, whichever. But there's still beans growing around those dried up corn stalks and watermelon and stuff like that. So we're not quite ready to mow it down just yet.
Yeah.
There's still stuff growing. And from an in-ground garden perspective, we got okra going, we got roselle going, we got watermelons going. Still in the in-ground garden, so they're doing really well.
Yeah, the okra's going.
But I mean, I
growing
think
like wildfire.
I mean, okra pretty much grows anywhere. It doesn't really matter where you throw those seeds. Just
it likes the Florida heat.
And so that's doing really well. So we should get a pretty good harvest out of those plants with the amount of watermelons that we got going.
I don't trust watermelons.
I don't know. Yeah, we haven't.
How
really-
big are they? I haven't actually seen the watermelons that are growing. How big are they?
They are flowers.
So we
They're
don't
not
have
big
any.
yet, no.
We don't have any actual watermelons growing.
Haven't seen one.
So we're not having a watermelon seed spitting contest for 4th of July, then, are we?
No. Unless you want to do a store-bought one.
I don't know. I don't know how these watermelons are in the grocery stores already.
Well, greenhouses do.
They start them in greenhouses that early.
Yeah,
No,
that's how you have fresh produce.
So when
Throughout
if
the
you
season.
if you grow a watermelon on your own, when do you get to harvest watermelons? We've had zero luck with watermelon.
But depending on the watermelons, its maturity is about 90 to 120 days.
Well, I feel like we're past that since we planted them.
No, we are not.
Well, I don't know.
You
but
don't
I
know
feel that way.
because you haven't done
I
any.
feel that
He hasn't
way.
done any of the planting. Not a single seed.
I feel
Not a single seed.
and you
Not one.
and you haven't drug a single pig into a stock trailer.
That's true. I have not done any of that. But I skinned them. That was fun.
No. Don't even compare that, Nicole. Once it's already hanging
Yeah.
and you just come with a knife, oh, this is fun.
This
This
was
is
fun.
cool. No. That's not the hard part. That's like me eating the watermelon, eating the corn, and saying I took part in the harvest.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, anyway. He was no help in the garden at all this year.
It's like me picking peppers and acting like I helped with
Wait.
the pickle peppered process.
Which is funny because he was actually really interested in gardening when we first got here and he was all excited, and he was the one that started our initial seeds when we first
Yeah.
moved back here. He has no interest. Hey Muku! Hi buddy!
Oh. Hey, boy.
Hey buddy! What's up, man? What's
They've been
up?
getting in right there and eating the hay.
That is hilarious. It's good hay.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. He
That is
sticks his
funny.
head through the gate and eats the hay that's in storage.
That is hilarious. Well, there he is.
There he
Eating
is.
away.
And I think that's a good point to wrap it up.
Oh, is it already, huh? All right. Well, Chip is no help in the garden. Let me know how your garden is going.
I won't be there to help you guys in your garden either. So I wish you all the luck that Nicole's had this growing season, and we will see you guys in the next video.
See ya.